Good evening. Today is the 16th of July and here we are at the White Horse at Ampfield near Romsey in Hampshire for the monthly classic and interesting car evening they hold here. What is a classic car? What is an interesting car? We'll have to ask John, who's the landlord, because he's the one who actually decides. So some cars get relegated to one car park, some at the other. The ones in here have been chosen as either classic or interesting or both. I'm going to start with this Porsche 944 Turbo, which looks rather nice. The thing I've noticed though, these side repeaters are the same as the ones on an Audi V8 and a Mark II Golf, and probably other cars as well. But that's the only thing probably that's in common between an Audi V8 and a Porsche 944. But it does look rather nice, viewers. Unfortunately, I had a friend of mine had one of these last year, but I never got round to actually filming it. He did offer it to me, but unfortunately I wasn't able to have a go at it. And next we've got the gosh, I think one of these Type 4, something like that. I always forget the name of these Volkswagens. Calls up some various names. VW 412 from about 1972-73 on an L registration. This is I think the variant model they called these. That is a very, very rare car indeed. I don't think it's the rarest car we're going to see this evening though, viewers. I think we found something else we'll see a bit later that's even rarer than this Volkswagen here. So next we are going to have a look at this TVR Cerber, I believe this is. Very stylish. Rear seats are, well, not suitable for really anybody got any legs, but very nice. It's a 4.5 model with the later rear lamps, about 2000, something like that. And then, viewers, look at this. Tasty, tasty treats today. An Aston Martin DB7 in dark green with a beige leather interior with wood and piping. Yes, we very much like a beige leather interior, viewers. It's what the channel thrives on. Funny enough, we've got the DB7 and we've got a Vanquish as well. We've got one of the modern ones. What year is this? I can't remember, to be honest with you. Modern Aston Martins are not really my forte. That does look, though, very, very fast. The Firefrost MGTF is here from 2005, looking very, very nice. The wheels on this are immaculate. Actually, it's in superb condition. Just earlier on this evening, I saw a 61 plate TF because they actually made the continuation cars from 2008 till 2011. They weren't very popular because, of course, you could buy one of these like this for far less money than the brand new ones, so it didn't sell a lot, but there we go. Something else that's very nice is this 2009 Honda S2000. Very, very late one. They finished production, I think, in 2009, so one of the very last ones, this one. I really would like to try an S2000. I've tried all generations of the MX-5s. I've tried MGFs and TFs and things like that. I'd like to try one of these. Whether I'll actually get a chance to, I don't know. And also, yes, the Toyota MR2, the third generation one. I tried one of those, but I haven't tried one of these. Next, we've got some Escort action. We've got more Escort action coming up. We've got two here, though, to start off with. Very, very nice Mexico. Mark 1. This particular car was in 1974 that was registered in London. Quite a late Mark 1. The Mark 2s came out less than a year later, I think. Very, very nice condition. I think we've seen this actually at Lockheath as well. Then we've got another Escort Mark II RS2000. There's another RS2000 to come as well. I think this is Daytona Yellow from memory. From County Garage in Whitehaven on a T. I imagine this means we've got a facelifted car. The facelift's not particularly significant, really. It mainly consisted of the badge, from memory, and maybe some different wheels, and there we are. So 1978-79. Next we've got a very, very nice Mark III Capri. In fact, we've got two very nice Mark III Capris here this evening. Fans of the professionals like me are get incredibly excited by stuff like this. Look at that, we've got an RS2000 and a Capri together. Brilliant. Color check interior, of course. This one's got the 4-speed manual in it. And this is a 3 litre S. I forget the name of this colour. I always get confused between Solar Gold and Ulster Gold. This is a 1978-79 car, like the RS2000, so This is the era they would have actually used the professionals cars. The first one they used was in the second series, which was a 1978 in Strato Silver. Then they used 1979, 1980 and 1981 models as well. Right, get off this wall. Got fall over views, there we go, didn't fall over, much as people want me to. Austin Indy 3000, we saw an absolute megaton of these over the weekend when we were at Gaydon for the BMC Leyland show. Loads of them. This is a Mark 1, be about 1959, 1960, something like that. Then we've got the, oh gosh, I forget the name of this top on this MGB. I've been told several times what the name of this top is. It's very, very unusual. In 1967, they filmed an episode of The Avengers called Dead Man's Treasure with an MGB with this top on it. I've completely forgotten the name of it. I was told, I've forgotten. I do apologise, viewers. This particular car is a 69 to 70 on an H. So we had a 3 litre Escapri. How about a 2 litre Escapri? By the time this car had registered, so 83, 84, the S was discontinued in 84 to make way for the Laser. So this was the only S actually in production at the time. I think the 1.6 S was quite rare. I don't think they made them as late as 83, 84. 3 litre discontinued in 1981 in favour of a 2.8 injection, which I have driven. I drove a 2.8 injection back in 2020, and it was amazing. Although the gearbox was quite difficult, because it was a 4-speed one. The Type 9 is a bit easier to use than the 4-speed. Then we've got a Daimler. This is a V8 2.5 litre. The later ones, I think from 67 onwards, are called the V8 250. But this one is one of the slightly earlier ones. They're basically a Mark II Jaguar with the engine with Daimler Dart in them. That's what they are. And they were the last car of this type to be actually produced on this Mark II kind of platform until 1969. You can see there it's got the Daimler V8 badge on it. It didn't say 2.5 litre on the car for some reason. There we go, automatic transmission in there. Yeah. And then a 2CV. We've not actually seen a 2CV at one of these events for a little while. I've seen a Diane and things. This one is a 1984-85 on a B. Tiny, isn't it? Really small. And no, I'm not wanting to drive one of these viewers. And no, actually, no one's ever offered me one of these ever. I just don't want to drive one. I just think we'll leave that to Ian Seabrook and all his friends because they can drive those. I will stick to what I like. TR4 1963. There's a lot of information about this car actually. There's an absolute ton of it on here. But we haven't got time to read all that, unfortunately. It's very interesting. Originally manufactured and transferred to a soldier based in Malaysia. So this car has been all around the world and it looks brilliant. Well, the people in the S2000 are going on their way. Very, very, very nice S2000. Those are worth a lot of money now, actually. Then we got this Sunbeam. This is from I think the late 20s, this thing. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't, which I should have done, kind of had a look at the MOT history, which has given me the date of it. Although we don't really need many MOTs. So 27, this one. It's got 25 horsepower. I think it's got more than 25 horsepower. I think that's one of the older rating systems for it. Next, we've got some more lovely stuff over here. How about a Lotus Elan Sprint? Funny enough, look at the number plate. It's actually, the letters actually placed directly onto the grille. I don't think I've ever seen that in any other car. They just put the letter on the grille. This is I think a Sprint. Be about 1970, 1971, something like that, on a J. Very nice. Quite a small little car. Next we've got a Volkswagen 1500, a little bit older, 6970 on H. I forget the name of this colour actually. I've never driven one of these. I'd be intrigued to try one of these. I've never tried one. If I was going to try one, I'd prefer to try one that's as late as this. I think they've got slight improvements to make them slightly to drive. Because I've driven some really old stuff, and sometimes they are a little bit difficult. There we go, MGB GT, 1975-76 on a P. Coventry plate, RW. And probably rubber bumper car, but they've taken them off, which actually I think is quite good. They look quite good without bumpers on like this.
There must be a sensor on the front of the car.
Somebody's got this. Let's see if this happens. There we go. Look. Yes, we can make the make the car wedge someone else. Let's keep away from that. Next we've got a Porsche 356 with an extraordinary interior. Look at the colour of this interior. Wow. That is bonkers. I mean, that's probably a lot of money that car's worth, an awful lot of money. Next we've got something equally valuable, a Mark II Cortina that's had, I think, a Mazda MX-5 engine, Mazda B engine this is, from probably an NB MX-5. Recognise the old filler cap straight away. Yeah, we've got different wheels and tyres from standard, I'd say. And it's a twin cam. Now the twin cam also came in Lotus Cortina flavour. This one probably isn't an original Lotus Cortina, but those are very valuable. That was valuable enough. That looks very, very fast, viewers. Again, on 6970. Let's stay away from the front of this Triumph Roadster so I don't get sprayed again. Let's just be very careful, viewers. Dicky seat, all this sort of stuff. Yes, I should have watched a new series of Bergerac at some point in my life. I keep forgetting to do it. Never mind. We've got more Triumph action on the left-hand side. It's a bit cramped in here. We're going to have to move around this way. Here we go. A TR6 from 74-75 on an N. It's a nice colour. And then another Healey 3000. This is a much later one than the one we saw with Mark 1. This is a Mark 3. It's a 1965. Again, we saw absolutely tons of these at the weekend. At the BMC Lane Show, with tons and tons of race-prepared ones. Next, we've got this very nice 1987-88 Suzuki SJ4113JX. The JX was the trim. These are very, very rare. I think I've seen this before at somewhere like Loxheath or something like that. Someone can correct me exactly where I've seen this before, but unlike most of these, and the Samurais were very similar to SJ410s, this has no rust on it at all. Absolutely none. Quite fun little things. A lot of them were made in Spain by, I think Santana wasn't no company, I think. Santana. Yeah, there we go. And another S2000, because apparently you can't get enough S2000s. So this one, I wonder if it originally registered by Honda, because Honda use R plates like this on their press and fleet cars. 2006-7, again, very valuable, lovely 6-speed manual. You could get an automatic, I think, but they weren't that common. Next we've got a very, very nice MGA, complete with a beige leather interior and wood and a 5-speed gearbox. All things that we like very much on this channel. So that's what we like, that kind of thing. And next we've got another one. This one I presume is a 58, judging by that replica tax disc. Someone's fitted larger wheels and tyres, presumably to accommodate better brakes, which I think would be a good idea in something like that. Next we've got a beautiful Peugeot, I think this is a 204 Cabriolet. Let's take a look at the front and it will say, sorry, it's a 304. The 204s are similar to these. I get confused between them all the time. The 304 was the more modern version of the 204. I think slightly larger engines. I get very confused between the two of them though. Very rare in this country, this sort of thing. Looks like an original right-hand drive car. You've got a rev counter in there. I love this kind of thing. I drove a 504 Cabrio last year and it was sublime. Sort of more sophisticated, bigger brother of this. About the same age, about 1973. This is the S model, so I presume you get a little bit more power. Then we've got this very nice Land Rover. Let's just take a look at the dash and just confirm what I suspect is that this car is. It's a Series 2A. The Series 3s have a different dash in them, so it's Series 2A, which would make perfect sense because they changed over in 1971, so that was a little bit earlier than the changeover. Audi S3 from 2010, very nice. Triumph TR3, this is, I think I looked at it before, it's like 1958 or something like that, as far as I remember. And then we've got this thing, which is extraordinary. We love stuff like this too. The thing is about going to a little show like this is you never know what you're going to find. And this, I think, is some big old American Army thing. I forget entirely what these are called now. But you can fit all your friends in. Look how many friends you can bring along with you. And you can bring your guns, and you can bring ammunition, which you can't use, and everything like that. You have some fun. You can wade into very, very deep mud. You can't wade in deep mud in this mini City E though. City E, I think, was basically, was it a cheaper version of the City or something? This one is in absolutely stunning condition. This feels like it's been fully restored. Now, these are quite known for having problems with rust, and this one didn't have any at all. It is beautiful, and this is sort of festival exceptional type stuff. This, base model in beautiful condition. So there's something I like there. That is 8788 on an E. Then we got this Triumph Stag, very, very late one, 1977 only. This will be on an S, so right at the end of Mark II production, with the chrome sills that was standard at this time. But the original Triumph V8 looking in superb condition, and someone's fitted a different interior because there would have been vinyl originally. This is more like a sort of leather interior with a motor litre steering wheel. I drove one of these actually a couple of years ago. It was an auto like this one. It was a 72, and it was pretty good actually. I liked it. You can buy them quite cheaply, but that one's going to be worth a fair bit of money. Not as much as though as this Jaguar XK 150, which is very, very nice viewers. They are worth a lot of money. A friend of mine actually got one of these. He said I can have a go at it when it's going to be finished, but he's been saying it's going to be finished for about 5 years, so we might be waiting some time. Oh, hello. Oh, we've got another Jaguar here, a nice XK8 on a Coventry plate. Very nice, so I'll have a look at that later. And then we got some Alfa Romeo action. We've got a 105 series coupe here, which will be from the 70s actually, judging by that. Obviously we've got a non-age related plate on this one now. Let's see if this is a model name on the back. Yeah, it's a GT 1600 Junior. I drove a GT Junior a long time ago, but it had a 2-litre engine fitted to it. But in 2019 I think I drove it, which was good. Unfortunately I didn't film that channel properly, so I should have done really, shouldn't I? And we've got the electric Alfa Sud, which it really is. It's this electric conversion of an Alfa Sud. Someone obviously didn't think the boxer engine was good enough, so they put an electric one in. This is a 1977. It was imported into this country in 1994 and converted to an electric car in 2020. There we go. Still got the 5-speed manual gearbox in it, because that's what you can do with electric conversions. You can actually just use original gearbox. If you really want to, you can, and here is proof of it. So next we've got this Porsche 911, which seems to follow me around everywhere. I think we saw this at Loxheath the other night, just everywhere, which is fine. I appreciate it, but someone seems to be stalking me online, and this is proof of it. What's that? A 68, 69. And then we've got, oh gosh, we've got an EG Civic hatch. Wow. Now these are quite valuable now. I drove one of these a long time ago, standard 1.5 LSI from 1995. But any one of these with kind of like a shell that's in decent condition is worth an awful lot of money. Next we've got a Unos. This is an early one, 1990 to 1991 on an H, with some better headlamps fitted. And another Austin E3000. This is in 1965, like the last one was, with this sort of classic cream and light blue colour. This one's a left-hand drive one. I wonder if it's still got original gearbox in it. Like some of them were the 3-speed manual or something. Might be wrong about that. Anyway, we've got another Triumph here. This is a TR4A, I think, 1967. And then a Ford Anglia. Now this has been in the same family for a very, very long time. I do keep seeing it here. It's always immaculate, and I wonder how it handles on such narrow tyres. Then we've got something we're very familiar with, if we've been watching the coverage from the BMC Leyland show over the weekend, a Rover 200 BRM. These were made from 1998 to late 1999. They couldn't get rid of them by the end of production. They had far too many of them hanging around. So they're very, very valuable now. We'll just take a look at the interior again if you haven't seen one before. Unique interior to a BRM. We've got this red leather in it, a different gear lever, different steering wheel, different door cards, different carpets and things. All came in this colour with the orange intake at the front, and all with these Cosmos style wheels. Very, very nice. A Subaru Impreza first generation. Classic colour combination with the gold wheels and the dark blue paint. I wonder if this is an original UK car. They were called the Turbo 2000 over here, not the WRX in this country. It's actually got a standard UK number plate print, so I think this is a Turbo 2000. Got some Pro Drive mud flats, which makes sense as well. Yeah, that is rather nice views. We like that very much. 95, 96 on an N. Then we've got something that's very similar in age, this Rover 100 here. It's not a Metro, it is a Rover 100, although people call them Metros these days because they're very similar to a Rover Metro. This is probably a 1i Kensington or something. Very popular colour. I think this is not Tahiti blue. Ooh, is it Caribbean blue? I can't remember. And then a very nice XKR. This is the X150 shape with the later gear selector. So is this an early facelift one? I don't know. I can't remember now. My X150 knowledge is rubbish, as people keep telling me it is. Then we've got another RS2000. This again is like the yellow one, 78, 79 on a T. And it's actually got FEV plate. So 79 this one. FEV was the prefix also used for one of the car's professionals. There was a 1979 Ford Granada FEV 2040. So I presume that's the same sort of sequence. I could be wrong though. So there's the Civic again. Let's have a look now at this Porsche 911S. Most of them I see of this sort of age do seem to be on the older side. 72, 73 this one is. Not quite the 2.7 Carrera with a ducktail, but it's getting there. Fuchs alloy wheels, of course, like you find on a million camper van as well, because they fit straight on. This one is a 2.4 engine, which is sitting just there. So we appreciate Nissan solidarity this evening. Here's a 2000 K10 Micra. I wonder what special edition this is, because most of these were special editions seemingly. I've driven one of these a long time ago actually on my channel. I drove it in 2021 on no budget reviews, which they kind of still are no budget reviews. It's an S, okay, that's like somewhere in the middle of a trim hierarchy. It was sunny is here. I was going to clean it a bit better. Unfortunately, the car wash was closed when I went there earlier on today, so I didn't make it to have it nice and clean. But never mind. Hopefully, people will forgive me for that. 1968-69 Rover P5B Coupe. Very nice, viewers. We like these. I drove one of these in 2022 for the 6,000 subscriber special, and it was sublime. One of my friends, Signor Latore, he actually owns it, and it was very nice. This one's in some ways even nicer because it's got a beige leather interior with wood. Do we have a pipe rest like in Harold Wilson's car? I don't know, viewers. Possibly not. And then another Austin Healey 3000. That is, how many is that? 4? Was as many here as there were again over the weekend. Loads. This will be about a 1962, I think, something around that. Very nice. And then a 2001 to 2 Saab 9.3 convertible. I wonder if we get a turbo. It probably is a turbocharged model. The normally aspirated ones are quite rare, so it probably is a turbo. And they are very nice. I've driven loads of these actually. I quite like them. Then we've got a very nice Vauxhall Cavalier sports hatch. I love this car. I've seen it several times at the local shows, and it is absolutely amazing. Quite a late one, 80 to 81 registration. The Mark 1 Cavalier was discontinued in 1981, so quite late. This is also very similar to the Opel Manta B, which continued much later than this until 1988, whereas these were discontinued in 1981. Where they decided really only the Opel versions would be on sale. There we go, look at the interior, very similar to a Manta of course, and only a 4-speed gearbox. I really want to try this car, viewers. I don't know if I can, depends if the owners will let me, but I would like to try that very much. Next you've got something else very rare. This is a Austin A70 pickup from 1951. I've only ever seen these at shows, I've never seen them anywhere else. Daughter's registration number, finished mechanically, converted work by the person who owns it. Lap belts fit is probably a good idea, and a column gear change. Probably no servo brakes, and that's will stay away from it because it might not end very well if I had to drive something like that. And then a very nice Bristol 411 Series 6. Now this is a continuation car, would have been built originally in 1974, but this was sort of upgraded, shall we say, in 2009 by Bristol themselves. It's a shame Bristol kind of, well, it doesn't really exist anymore, unfortunately, viewers. And the cars are fantastic. They're very subtle. Similar price to, say, like a Silver Shadow at the time, but very different. And you saw on the other side where you can put the spare wheel, just in the wing there. Very nice. Big Chrysler V8 in that. And another tasty treat here, a Jaguar XK8 from 96-97, so an early one, on the Coventry plate, so possibly owned by Jaguar themselves. That is very, very nice. It's a classic interior in there. I drove a coupe of this sort of vintage as well last year. It was very good. I enjoyed it. So viewers, I promised you some more escort action. We've got some bonus escort action because this has just turned up. RS 1600 Mark 1 two-door 1968-69 registration, Croydon plate VB. Now these are very valuable now. Any two-door escort is worth about £1 million, and probably as I'm filming it, it's going up in value still. Oh, by Broadspeed. Wow, they were ones who made the big cat for New Avengers. Excellent. Like that sort of thing, viewers. We like that sort of thing rather a lot. So we're sort of coming to the final section now. We've got the sort of really old stuff here. 1930 Austin 7 RL Saloon. So 95 years old. 1924 Morris Cowley. Built-in Cowley. 101 years ago. 101 years old. We actually had a 2025 BMW M5 Touring here earlier on, so we have everything from the last 100 years and more at the show this evening, which is brilliant. Next we've got pick another 7, it's a late one. I think this is a Ruby. I'm hopeless of that sort of thing, but there we go. That's very nice. Also, the owner of this, Armstrong Sidley, who I do actually know, he's very nice. He has a nice car collection as well. This is one of several of his, and he is very proud of it. Is a Armstrong Sidley, registered in 1932. There were only 6 of this type of Armstrong Sidley made, and this is the only one left. So, yeah, that is fantastic. I think my Audi V8 that we recently sold is rare, then this is on a whole different level of rare. Very, very nice indeed, viewers. Do we have some TVR exhaust noise on the way out? Why not? We'll have some TVR exhaust noise. If you can actually clear that barrier, which you might not be able to do. Okay, here we go, viewers. We're going to listen to this TVR because why not? Here we go. I have to wait a bit, viewers, because it's traffic. We're determined to just wait a little longer. There we go. That was very nice, viewers. I enjoyed that. Anyway, let's go and have a look at this other Beetle over here. 7172 on a K. Very nice. Interesting alloy wheels. I don't know what those are off. Somebody in the comment section below can tell me. That is a Volkswagen 1300. Co-replica. Don't know what kit this is. It's probably some point in the 1990s perhaps. It's not as old as that, so 77, 78. It's a bit newer than that, but it is very nice. Wow. 1989 to 90 Porsche 911 964 Carrera 4 in dark green with a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. That is a very, very tasty 911 indeed. We like that sort of thing very much. Triumph TR7. I've seen this before several times. 1976-77 plate, although this I think is a V8 conversion from memory. So V8s were fitted to the TR7s way before they were available to the public, and of course there's a 4-litre badge on there, so that confirms it. One in and one out, viewers. It is a bit cramped around here this evening. Some kind of Chevy from the early 50s, I think this is. Anyway, I think that is it for this evening. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we will see you again in a few days' time for some more incorrect information.